I've decided to try low toxin living. So, if you're interested, if you're curious, if you're thinking about doing the same thing and you want to know how to get started, I'm going to share with you the things that I have done, the changes I have made, and some of the things I've purchased that I really enjoy. So, let's dive into the low toxic lifestyle together. So what I'm going to start with is things that I'm doing that I'm changing in the home. I've got a whole different set of changes, stuff that I'm doing for what I put on my body. So like skincare, makeup, cosmetics, things like that. And then I've got another list or another set of changes for things that I put in my body, like what I eat, etc. And if you're interested in either of those, I can do a video on them, but I'm going to focus today only on the stuff in the home. I won't belabor this part because if you clicked on the video, you're probably already curious about this and you know why you're here, but let me just say a couple words about why I want to do this. So first and foremost, my kids, my health, my husband, I want to have a healthy home environment, and I want what we eat, what we wear, how we clean, the air that we live in, live around, to be as clean and toxin-free as possible for probably self-evident reasons. Another reason I'm doing it is because I have allergies and so do my kids. We have sensitive skin. It's not like I'm starting from scratch here. I have babied our skin and the things that touch our skin and that are in our environment more perhaps than I would have if I didn't have those sensitivities. All of those reasons are why I'm interested in this. Now, I'm not going to be 100% hardcore about it. I don't think it's totally necessary to be as hardcore as you possibly could be and still be healthy and still avoid toxins and still really greatly reduce the bad stuff that's around you and increase the good stuff that's around you. Also, there are some things that I'm just not willing to give up completely. For example, my perfume collection, right? Like, I do not have only clean perfume. I've got a whole collection. I don't intend to get rid of it. So that's one thing that's just not going to go. There are a couple other things, like I use retinol on my skin. A lot of people might put that on like a no-no list, but I'm going to use it. So there are just some things in my life, in my family, that I'm just not willing to give up, and I don't think it's totally necessary. Now, like I said, I'm not going from top to bottom 100%. I am starting with changes that I can incorporate, that I can really make a new habit, fold them into my routines and into my life that I can be consistent with. And I'm starting with stuff that I use frequently, that I use a lot of places, so that I'm addressing like the big things first. I want to tackle the stuff that's going to make a big impact as soon as possible. And then I will work my way through all the things until I get to whatever stopping point I think is reasonable. So I've got a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about behind me. And so let me walk you through them. The first one is air quality. I did not realize indoor air quality can be like many times worse than outdoor air quality with, even considering pollution and things like that. Now, the obvious reason for that, I think, is because we're in an enclosed space. There's not nearly the ventilation in your house that there is outside, obviously. The indoors are an enclosed, confined, restricted space, and even when you open windows, that certainly helps, but the stuff that you spray into the air can linger. It can settle on furniture, floors, surfaces, and it can be irritating. To address possible low air quality, one of the things that I did was I purchased air purifiers. You can see this big guy behind me, and then I got a couple of kind of baby purifiers. One of them is still in the box. That's going to be for my kids' room. This company, Levoit, I think is how you say it. I've had air purifiers of theirs before. I lived in a place a few years ago where I really thought the air quality was low. I just kind of smelled it in the air. That just like, oh, it smells kind of musty. It smells kind of like maybe moldy. I don't know, but there wasn't a whole lot I could do, but I got a couple of air purifiers and It did freshen the air quite a bit and it made me feel better. So I decided to go back to this. Now, these things have come a long way since even when I had it a few years ago, and there's some quite impressive technology on these things. And let me tell you my thoughts. One, are they necessary? I have no idea. I have no idea if you need this. I have no idea if you need this or if you could just open a window and get the same effect. There's probably a study somewhere on that. But in my experience, they help a lot. I do open windows for fresh air as much as possible because my kids have seasonal allergies and because there's so much pollen in the air right now. When I open the windows, I can like see the windowsill dusted with all the dust and pollen and things that are coming in from the cross breeze, as well as the things that are going out. Now, I still do it because it's good, but then I'm like, well, now what do I do with all the pollen that's in the air? And so these purifiers, at least as they're advertised, they address all kinds of impurities, allergens, things that are in the air. Some of them have Bluetooth capacity where they can like communicate with your phone or send you alerts of like what's going on with your air quality. Some of them are just basic. Some of them have sleep mode so you can run it all night long, but it's very quiet. It's much quieter than like a fan. I sleep with a white noise machine anyway. I like kind of a fan noise in the background. This would not be loud enough for me. It's super quiet. But this brand I found they're really accessible. Their pieces are affordable for the most part. They have some really big, like huge house size ones. I don't have any of those. This is the biggest one I have. And as you can see, I mean, it's a couple feet tall. But let me tell you what it does. So I turn it on and basically I run it for a few hours a day on the ones that aren't automatic. And then the one that I have that's automatic, when I'm home, I'll usually just turn it on and it will adjust to what it senses in the air, which is amazing. And I thought that maybe that was like just total hocus pocus, like, you know, every now and then it just turns on or whatever. But I was cooking a few weeks ago and it wasn't smoky. It wasn't like obvious things in the air. Nothing was burning, but I was just cooking and I was making a mess in the kitchen and I could smell it in the air, but there didn't appear to be a problem. And I think I maybe had opened a window even still. I got an alert on my phone a few minutes after I was done cooking, telling me that this machine had detected a reduction in air quality and that it was going to adjust its fan speed to compensate. And then like an hour later, it sent me another notification saying that your air has been detected to be clean again. We're reducing the fan speed. And by fan speed, it's like low to a little less low. None of it's loud. And I was like, oh, what do you know? This thing somehow knew that I had cooked and that I had spewed whatever into the air that just, it wasn't as fresh as it was before. And I tried it again and again and again. And every single time, whenever I'm doing something that's maybe causing a little bit of something to get into the air, this thing will alert me. It will adjust its fan speed. It will clean out the air. And once it's clean, it will tell me that it's clean again. That is amazing. I absolutely love it. If I can, I will link this below if you're curious. Now it's a couple feet tall. This thing sits on the floor. It doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of a cool looking machine, but I don't really care. I'm going to keep it. I love it. The only thing I regret is that I bought the kind of simpler, smaller ones for the bedrooms. So I have one that's smaller than this, but not as small as this little guy here. For my room, because my room is bigger than my kids' rooms. And that just has like speed settings, a timer, quiet mode, things like that. It doesn't have an automatic function and it doesn't have an alert function. These, same thing, but even smaller. And I got one for each of my kids' rooms. So I plan to run those all night long while they sleep. It will not bother their sleeping and it will just refresh the air as they're sleeping. And I absolutely love the idea of that. And so I'm excited to use these. They're not that expensive. I think this one was under $100, just under $100. I think the regular price is a little more than 100, but Amazon was like doing a sale or something. And then I think these were on special. It was like 2 for $99 or something. That's how I ended up getting those 2 for my kids' rooms. And the one that I have, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the one I have upstairs for me was like 99 and then this one was like 100 something. I don't remember. But if I could do it all over again, I would buy like 2 or 3 of these big guys. They also have one that's even more higher capacity than this. So like you could have one in your house and it could maybe do the whole house. I just don't know how that's possible to circulate all the air from like 3 floors. And anyway, maybe it is possible, but I would prefer to just have one in the places where I want to use it. I can't recommend these enough if you're concerned at all about air purification or air quality. Of course, this is not sponsored. They do not know who I am. I will try to get a link for you though and put it in the description so that you can check these out. These are the only ones I've tried, so I don't know if there's some amazing one that's even better, but these are pretty amazing in my opinion. And this is like the 4th one that I bought by this brand between the 2 homes that I've used it in, so would highly recommend. The second thing I did to improve air quality is also something I needed to address by my own destroying of the air quality, and that is candles. So I don't typically use scented candles. There are a couple of scented candles that I love around the holidays. I love like a pumpkin spice kind of fall-y vibe, and I love like a piney fresh winter Christmas vibe. And I'm trying to move into essential oils in a diffuser rather than scented candles, because scented candles can sometimes just be too much. They also can be toxic in the air. Now, I recently read an article about candles and it was terrifying. It was like some kinds of, depending on the wax that they use and the soot and the wick and the thing, it's like spewing all kinds of like carcinogens, cancer causing this and lung destroying that. And I'm like, really? Candles? I like candles a lot. I like candles basically every day that I'm home and the house is clean. When the house is a mess, I'm so overwhelmed I don't feel like, beautifying or romanticizing anything. But when the house is tidy and I'm cooking dinner or sitting down for dinner or just relaxing for the night or just come home from work and want to be like, I am home, I will light candles. And these are, I bought a whole bunch of them recently. They're pretty high quality in terms of how they burn and how the candles stay together, like don't fall apart, drip everywhere in your candle holder. I'm getting rid of them. I don't know that these are terrible. I really don't, but I've switched completely to a different kind of candle, change the game in terms of toxins. So the candles I've switched to are 100% beeswax candles. And what I've read about beeswax candles is exactly the opposite of what I have read about other kinds of candles. Instead of beeswax candles spewing bad things into the air, they actually help remove bad things from the air, kind of like plants. Now, again, I have not done a deep dive into it, but the research that I've done seems to be pretty consistent that at the very least, these are better than any other kind of candle wax. These are also expensive. Like, I was surprised how expensive. I think this little guy is like, I don't know, is it 20 or 25 bucks? Maybe it's 15. To me, that seems like a lot for a candle this size. But given the number of hours that I might burn a candle, I'm just doing it. So I got these from a little company called, I don't know how little they are, but it's called the Beeswax Company, and I think they're based in Texas. There are several. If you just Google 100% beeswax candles, you're going to get a bunch of brands, little boutique companies that make these, and find one that's in a location that delivers to you and check it out. Now, I don't like that they're all this kind of yellowish color. I wish that they had some just like in a white or a lighter cream, but whatever, I'll get over it. So I can now burn these and not only not worry about it, but feel pretty good that I'm not putting anything into the air that's bad. And whatever they make these wicks out of, that's evidently not toxic either. So look for some 100% beeswax candles. They do sell them at Whole Foods, but the only ones that I found are taper candles and votive candles. I bought a couple, but I don't burn votives as much as the bigger ones. I light them, and sometimes they're burning for like most of the night. So now I don't have to worry about it. Now that these are the standard for me, I'm going to just keep my eye out for companies that make these at a good price, that have good shipping policies. So beeswax candles. So the next thing has to do with air quality, but much more indirectly. Actually, I think everything on this list sort of relates to air quality or irritants in the air and on the skin. It's not as directly related to air purification as an air purifier or as candles, but it's still related, and that is nonstick cookware. So I've gotten rid of basically all nonstick cookware, and there's all kinds of data on nonstick cookware being kind of toxic if it's overheated. Some of the nonstick coatings can chip, and then like, where does that go? Is it getting in your food? That's a little scary to me. And I know that there are nonstick cookware brands that now, totally aware of all of that, have changed the game, are making nonstick cookware that is not toxic, that is more durable, that can withstand high heat and not only not release toxins in the air, but also not damage the pan. And I have been on a hunt for pans like that, the best ones I could find, just for the rare occasion, somewhat rare occasion, where nonstick really just does the job best. And my standard sort of go-to cookware is this all-clad stainless steel. I have a whole set. We registered for these for our wedding. My sister, my very generous sister, bought us the set, and we've been using these on a daily basis ever since, well over a decade. They're fantastic, totally sturdy, basically indestructible, and we'll have them forever. Love them. We've added a couple more pieces. Okay, that's what we use most of the time, as often as possible. But when we need a nonstick pan, I have discovered this green pan. The advertising on this is like fantastic. They advertise that they are not toxic. They advertise that they can even withstand high heat, that they are dishwasher safe, that you can even use metal utensils on them and it won't destroy the pan. So they've basically tried to take everything that is touchy and delicate about nonstick cookware and make it as durable and functional as cookware that's not nonstick. Let me say a couple words about it. Of the nonstick cookware universe, these are the ones that work fine enough for me. Some of the claims, like using metal tools, being able to use high heat if you want to, I'm not so sure. I had a green pan frying pan that I think is only a year and a half old, and it chipped. And I don't use metal cooking utensils that often. I don't remember using one in that pan. I don't think I would have done it intentionally, but something scraped it and the coating did start to come up. I don't use high heat on these if I can avoid it, just because I just don't know. Now, supposedly, even if the high heat will damage the pan, there's not the chemicals in here that the high heat is going to release into the air, but just to be on the safe side, I use medium-ish heat. I do put these through the dishwasher and they come out fine. Now, Williams-Sonoma, which is where I got these, advertises all the bells and whistles that I described to you, but there's a little bit of fine print in the description. So I would say if you want nonstick cookware in your arsenal, try these, but expect that, one, you probably will have to replace them in time. Like, they just will not last forever the way that something like that will. And be a little more delicate with it than the advertising says. That would be my recommendation. But otherwise, we got this to cover the cookware, nonstick cookware needs for our kitchen, our family, without the toxins. Next, also indirectly related to air quality, but also just general toxins and stuff in the environment, that is cleaning products. Now, I went through a phase where I made all of my cleaning products, from laundry detergent to hand soap and all kinds of things. I would mix things up together. I had like a whole bin of raw ingredients, and I would go to a place, I called it my lab. It was a little mixing station in the basement, and I would whip together this stuff, and I was like grating soaps, and I was measuring stuff, and I was melting stuff together, and I made other things like body butter and all kinds of stuff. Okay, I'm not doing that these days. I'm not that hardcore. I also found that some of that stuff I made was not as effective as I needed it to be. What I have decided to do is use higher quality products with really good ingredients that are non-toxic, and then I'm mixing them a bit to get what I want. So let me tell you what I've got going on. The first product I'll tell you about, again, none of this is sponsored, is Branch Basics. There's all kinds of videos of people reviewing this, showing you how it works, all that stuff. Let me give you my 2 cents and how I use it. So first, what is it? This is the Branch Basics concentrate. This is like the essence of the brand. It is made of simple ingredients listed right on the packaging, and there's only 8 if I counted correctly, and the first one is purified water. So it's not, and I have one of the apps that you can use where you can plug products into, and it will tell you, like, is this thing toxic, is it not, and sort of rank it or score it. And this brand does really well on all of those things. So check it out. What you're supposed to do is take this concentrate and you dilute it with water in various concentrations to get different types of cleaner. So there is a concentration for an all-purpose cleaner. There is a concentration distribution for a bathroom cleaner, which has more concentrate to water. There is a concentration for like a glass cleaner, which has, I think, literally a drop for a whole bottle of water. I mean, there's hardly any of this in that. There's a concentration for laundry detergent. So as you can see, this one concentrate can be used basically to make any household cleaner that you need. And the website has a whole like 50-page document on how to use this for any surface, from rugs and upholstery to outdoor furniture to disinfecting to stainless steel to your counters to your clothes, everything. So this is the main product that they have, and you mix this up in various levels, various concentration, to give you the kind of cleaning product you need. They do make other products. One of the most popular ones is this thing called Oxygen Boost. This is like maybe their version of a non-toxic OxiClean, or that kind of like all-purpose booster. And they have all kinds of uses for this. Again, listed on their website. It's very helpful. I think, however, that there are basically only 2 ingredients in this. There's sodium percarbonate and sodium bicarbonate. One of those 2 ingredients is essentially baking soda, and the other you can buy in its raw form on Amazon. So maybe you could just buy those 2 and mix them up and create your own Oxygen Boost. But anyway, I got this to try it, and I filled a little, like a Parmesan cheese shaker that I got, that I used to keep just pure baking soda in. And I filled it with some of this, and I keep this on my counter with my dish soap and things like that. So when I need it, like for an extra scrub or something like that for dishes, then I've got it there, and it's cuter than this bag. This bag I keep up with the laundry. Now I have a big tub of OxiClean that I had purchased from Costco. So I'm going to finish using that, and then I'm going to try to switch over to this or a version of this for like a laundry booster when I need it. Another product that they sell is hand soap. This bag of hand soap is like $50. $50 for hand soap. I thought, could it really be that good? So I bought it. And I put it in a foaming hand soap dispenser because I just like foaming hand soap more than the just the liquidy kind. It is good. It's good. Because it's in a foaming dispenser, I use less of it than I would if I were just pumping it onto my hands. This is the best hand soap I have ever used, with one exception. L'Occitane has a hand soap, like a Shea hand soap, that is so moisturizing. I mean, it's like butter. But I don't want to use that. First of all, that is really expensive. And as many times a day as I wash my hands, I don't want to use that. But also, it's not as sudsy, it's not as intense as other liquid hand soaps. You know, if I've just been handling eggs or chicken or meat, or just my hands are dirty, I want them to feel clean, not just soft. And so this feels totally clean, but not stripped, not dry. Somehow it does that. And it's non-toxic. So it's fantastic. I can't believe that I would say that I would recommend a $50 bag of hand soap. I do think this will last a very long time, at least the way that I use it in a foaming dispenser. But boy, oh boy, try it. Okay, back to the concentrate. So let me tell you how I use this and what concentrations I've tried it in. So there are a few cleaners that I use on a regular basis around the house. Not all of them come from this, for sure. So the way that this works, as I said, is you mix some amount of the concentration with some amount of water, depending on what cleaning product you're looking for. And so far, the concentration that I've tried, or concentrations, have been for laundry and for all-purpose. On the Branch Basics website, they have spray bottles that you can buy. They don't look like this. This is not it. I mean, they kind of look like this, but this isn't one of them. But they have a spray bottle that you can buy, and there's a line on the spray bottle somewhere. And it's also labeled, so it will say bathroom, all-purpose, streak-free, I think is the other one maybe, which is the one with just a drop. And you fill in water to the line, and then you fill in the rest, you fill in the gap with the concentrate. And that's how you mix it. Simple. You shake it up and you're good to go. I didn't want to buy a whole set of Branch Basics specific spray bottles if I wasn't sure I was going to stick with it. Fortunately, Branch Basics is kind enough to give the concentration breakdowns in a list in their document, one of the documents that are on their website. So they tell you how many parts of the concentrate to mix with how many parts of water, and then you can use your own spray bottles. So I purchased a couple or a few of these just glass spray bottles from Amazon. I actually already had one that I'd been using. I would just take any all-purpose cleaner that I was using and I would pour it into this so that it was pretty on my counter and went with the other things I had on my counter. So I just bought a couple more. I mixed the concentration for the all-purpose, and then I just made my own little label that says all-purpose. And this I keep out on my counter, and this is what I use basically for everything in my kitchen table, dining table, family room table, all the spaces down here that just need like a daily spray and cleaning. This will do it. I don't need separate sprays for all those things. And I'm not worried that it will damage the wood or not work on the granite or do something bad to a surface. It's fantastic that an all-purpose cleaner is actually an all-purpose cleaner for the vast majority of the things that need like a daily spray. I did, however, purchase the laundry detergent bottle. It's so cute, and that was probably why I did it. It's a glass bottle with like a silicone sleeve, and it gives you, so you can see on this line says water, and this line says soap. So you fill it up to here with water, and then you fill in the rest of the space with the concentrate. As you can see, this concentration, the detergent, the laundry concentration, is the highest. I mean, it almost looks like it's 50-50, except the bottom of the bottle is much wider than the top, which tapers in. And then it comes with this little cup on the top, this little teeny, almost like, looks like a medicine cup that they give with kids liquid medicine. Maybe it is a medicine, maybe it's the same thing. But you pour a little cap full in, it stores right back on the bottle, and you do your laundry and use your oxygen boost or whatever. I haven't used this enough on laundry to be like, is it as good as the other stuff? And the stuff that I used regularly before this is like free and clear, fragrance free, dye free, supposedly good for better for sensitive skin, all that stuff. So I've never used anything really harsh on my clothes because of all the things I've already said. But I'm hoping that this will take it even more to the next level in terms of non-toxic laundry detergent, and that it will also get my clothes clean. So if this is a fail, I will let you know, but so far I've been happy with the products. This other bottle that I keep out on my counter is not a Branch Basics product. This is disinfectant, and I have a little clear label that says disinfectant. And this is homemade. It's the simplest you can get. It's basically 50% rubbing alcohol and 50% water. I pour it in there, I add water, I shake it up, we're good to go. And I keep this on my counter for when I need to disinfect a surface, and it's great. So I have this and the all-purpose cleaner. They sit right next to each other on a little marble Lazy Susan that I use for my cleaning products and other things in the kitchen, and it's fantastic. The last cleaning product that I'll show, and I'm not showing obviously all of the cleaning products that I use or all of the things that I've done, but I'm highlighting the things that I use so often that switching them out and making sure that they're non-toxic are going to give me the biggest bang for the buck, or the biggest impact for the change, which is what I'm going for as I get started on this. This is just a regular brand. I think this is 7th generation, free and clear, no dyes, no fragrance, nothing added, just regular dishwashing soap. I've used all kinds over the years that are more clean, non-toxic than others. Several of them work great. And I have like a big bulk pack of 7th generation ones. So I'm going to keep using those until they're gone. And then I'll probably explore some other ones. But I put it in this cute little glass bottle that I got from Amazon. I also put my cooking oils in ones like this, and I have those set out on the counter. And I just think it's pretty. And it pours out of this spout really nicely, and it doesn't matter what the bottle that it came in looks like, because once I put it in here, it goes with all the other things I have going on and just keeps it cute. I'm a sucker for packaging, marketing. A cute little moment might get me every time, but it's also like what inspires me to do the things that are otherwise just a grind. So thank you for joining me to learn about how I am launching into my low toxic journey. Maybe you found something that is interesting or that you want to try, so check out the description for links. If you want to see any more content about these kinds of things or any of the other things that I mentioned that I've got going on, I would be happy to do that. So please be sure to subscribe, come back and see me again, leave a comment and a like, and as always, be blessed. Thanks for watching.